Hey guys, it's Sam, and this week I bring you another BookTube SFF Awards book Babbles. So as you guys may know, over the last few months, the BookTube SFF Awards has been holding Book Babbles, which is a weekly discussion topic on all things SFF related. This week's topic is favorite space operas. Before we get into that, the BookTube SFF Awards award season is quickly coming to a close. We will be having our live show award ceremony for all of our nominees next month in June. So if you are reading along with us and everything, kind of wrap up what you're reading and try to catch up on as many titles as possible so you can join us for the award show, which will be in late June. So like I said, for this week we are talking space operas, and space operas are my favorite of the science fiction genre. It's just a genre that I like. It's what introduced me to science fiction, but sadly I haven't read that much of it because I haven't read that much science fiction in general, so I have a lot of picks that are probably pretty well known at this point. But for those of you that don't know what space opera means, I will read the very official definition from Wikipedia. Space opera is a subgenre of science fiction that emphasizes space warfare, melodramatic adventure, interplanetary battles, chivalric romance, and risk-taking. So let's just get started, shall we, and just knock out the big guns with Star Wars. Obviously, I love Star Wars. Obviously, I've talked about Star Wars a lot. Everyone knows about Star Wars. Star Wars is like some of the original space opera fun. There's Star Wars and there's Star Trek, and those are the two major space opera franchises that exist within the Western world, and of course I love it. This is what introduced me to space operas. This is the first science fiction I believe I ever even watched growing up. It is everything. I love how dramatic it is. I love how wide the scope is. I love the like grand overarching themes. I even enjoy the majority of the romances in there. Like, just a fun time for me. I like the big battles, even though obviously you wouldn't be able to hear the battles in space, but I love that it's ridiculous. Like, I love everything. I love like that there's a lot of capes, you know? I enjoy a lot of things about it. And it's the original, and I had to obviously mention it. Another one that I have to mention I don't want to touch on like too much, because I talk about it in like every video in which I am able to, and that's Mass Effect. So again, we have the risk-taking, the intergalactic warfare, all that stuff. It's so great. It's so great. You have a wide cast of characters. I feel like another thing about space operas that I always kind of link to space operas is having like a giant cast of characters. So again, Mass Effect, giant cast of characters that you bond to, and the good and the evil and the choices and everything matters, and it's just, yeah, the drama. And especially, I feel like the whole series obviously applies for space opera for Mass Effect, but Mass Effect 3 in particular has the most drama because of the soundtrack, I feel. The Mass Effect 3 soundtrack still brings me to tears. Like, I'll be driving, mind my own damn business to or from work, and all of a sudden a certain song will come on, like I'm Proud of You or Leaving Earth or something, and I will just want to die. It's great. But now, because of those two loves of my life, I am always on the search for space operas. The problem is that I feel like a lot of space operas are older or very like tropey. I mean, even these have tropiness to them, obviously, but I'm just so against just like typical space operas. It's really my own bias, but like any that I see where people are like, you have to read these, I'm like, well, I don't want to read the classic space operas. I want to read the cool fun ones that are out now, but I just can't necessarily locate them. So yeah, after I finish my list, if you have any recommendations, feel free to share them with me, because I'm just being very picky about my space operas. I love them so much, and I don't want to waste my time on something that I won't love and adore. So getting into the books, the space opera that I love is the Expanse series, which starts with Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I still need to read the rest of these books because I read the first one, but I desperately want to read the rest of them. This definitely has all this like extra, you know, planetary battles and all the risks, and this one combines more of the kind of like space detective noir element to it. I don't know if that exists within the rest of the series, probably not, but this very much reminded me of Mass Effect, which is why I wanted to pick it up in the first place. We have Old Man's War by John Scalzi. This is also another series that I haven't continued. I started reading this at like the beginning of my channel. It's a little ridiculous at this point. But everybody after the age of, I think, 75 can join, you can choose to join the military, and that's what this character ends up doing. And no one really understands like why are old people like being recruited in the military. It's like it's like a draft kind of, and you find out by following this character, and it's a lot of, again, very interplanetary. Feels almost like Ender's Game, but with older people and not written by a trash can. So this is a lot of fun. I really enjoy Scalzi's writing, and he brings a lot of like the fun to it and the adventure and everything. So really good series from everyone that I've ever heard talk about it. I don't think anyone's ever complained about this series, but a lot of us haven't read past the first book. It's a problem. If I had time, I would do like a read-along or something. So maybe after school's done, because now I can say that since school will be done in like August, and August is right around the corner. So maybe after that happens, I will do like a read-along if anybody wants to read Old Man's War with me. And lastly, we have the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Now, everyone kind of almost forgets that this technically falls under a space opera, but definitely does. Interplanetary stuff, the romance, the risk-taking, the adventure, all the shenanigans. But everyone's like, oh, it's a sci-fi fairy tale retelling. And yes, that's true, but it's a space opera. Sci-fi fairy tale retelling. So I enjoy these. These are really fun. It's not a series that I ever really plan on rereading. Like, it's a series that I get so enthralled with when I'm reading them, and then I put them down and I like totally forget that they exist. It's a weird phenomenon with these. Like, her writing is so gripping in the moment, and then you're just like, where did it go? But again, wide cast of characters, lots of crazy sci-fi stuff going on, battles, all that fun stuff. The only thing this doesn't have that I feel like I always equate with space operas is like a lot of like ships and ship battles, and we don't have that happening as far as like spaceships. But otherwise, everything else we have in this series. So yeah, that is it for some of my favorite space operas. Comment below and let me know some of your favorites. Like I said, I haven't ingested enough of them, I feel like. I don't know why I say ingest. That's a little, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what kind of the imagery I guess I want to evoke here. I would also like to watch some more of like TV. I really want to watch Battlestar Galactica when I have time, because that's a space opera that apparently I'm going to love. And I also have dreams and feel that I should watch Firefly at some point, but I also know how that ends, so I kind of don't want to do that. But other than those, comment below and let me know some of your favorites that I can check out. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!